Hello everyone, and thank you for coming back to join us again on our channel. And those of you who remember from the video that I did where I was going to another town to buy eggs because I thought they were on sale for $2.98, I mentioned that I was going to freeze some of them, and I said that when I did, I would make a video and show you. And that's what this video is about. I have the things out here ready, and I'm going to be freezing some eggs for future use. I have here a dozen eggs. I think I'm going to need another bag. One, two. Okay. Now, before I started doing this, I did watch several videos because I've never done it before and I needed to learn how to do it. And let me tell you, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that show how to freeze eggs. And everybody does it differently. I found several different ways in the videos that I watched. And in one video, the gentleman even did freezing eggs 5 different ways. Now, I never even knew there was 5 different ways you could freeze eggs. I figured there was only 2. In the shell or cracked, which you really don't want to freeze them in the shell. But he did. He had 5 different ways of freezing them. So the first thing I'm going to tell you you're going to need is you're going to need salt or sugar depending on what you plan on using the eggs in the future. I'm going to do this dozen with salt, and then I'll do another dozen with sugar. And the salt ones you can use in casseroles. You can scramble them. You can use them in meatloaf. Then if you do them with sugar in them, you can use them in cookies, pies, cakes, breads, stuff like that. Now, most of the videos that I watched showed doing them in cupcake muffins or ice trays, which originally that's what I was planning on doing, was freezing them like this in muffin tin. But as I said, I watched several videos, and in one of the videos that I watched, there was a lady on there that did them in Ziploc bags. And I like that idea really well because the muffin tins will take up quite a bit of room. Freezing them like this won't take up as much room. And what I'm planning on doing, I'm putting 2 eggs in each of these. These are sandwich Ziploc bags. And what you need to do is write on the outside of the bag how many eggs are in here, like 2, 3, 4, however many you put in there, and the date. And the way I date my stuff that I freeze, I Google how long an item can be frozen, and I write that final date on the thing so that when I'm getting it out, I can say, okay, this has got 3 more months before I have to use it up or whatever. And according to Google, you can freeze eggs for up to a year, and that's a pretty good long time. So what I've done, I've dated mine for the 24th, which is a year. And I was planning on doing this Wednesday, so it's actually got Wednesday's date on there, but that won't matter. And also, too, when you bring eggs home from the stale, you know they have a date on the end that tells you to use by. And when I Googled it, it said that this date here is a good use by date, but you can also add another 3 to 5 weeks to that. So what I do when I bring a dozen eggs home, I look at the use by date, which is January 22nd, and I add 5 weeks onto that, and then I take a magic marker and I write it on the end. That way I know exactly how long I've got before I have to use these eggs up. These were the eggs that I bought at that store that were medium, and they weren't on sale. Okay, and you're going to need your eggs, your salt or sugar, your bags if you're going to put them in sandwich bags, or if you're going to put them in freeze them in a muffin tin, you get a large Ziploc bag. And you're going to need a measuring spoon for your salt or sugar. If those of you that remember the video I did on the thrifting, where I bought that little bag that had all the stuff in it, had hole punches and different things. Remember the little measuring spoon I had? I said I was going to keep it. 1/8 teaspoon is not a very popular measurement, but I knew that there would be a time that I needed it. This is perfect for it because that's exactly what you need. Then after you put them in the Ziploc bags, you're going to want to lay them flat into something and freeze them. And I'm going to be able to put all the eggs up, hoping in this to freeze them flat. Then after they're frozen, I'll take them out and stand them up in another container. So the way you start with this, I'm going to put my eggs down in here so I have more room to show you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to take my 2 eggs and crack them into my bowl to start. I have to get out as much as I can for the price I'm paying for them now. And part of the reason I'm freezing the eggs now, last time I was at Walmart, I expected the eggs to go up to be $5 or $6 a dozen, but they're still holding steady at $4.87. That was last week. This week they may be higher. So I'm figuring if I go ahead and freeze these now, I paid $4.87. When the eggs get up to $6, $7, and $8 a dozen, I'll have enough of them frozen where I won't have to pay that. And I'm praying that in the future, the price of eggs will come back down to a reasonable price. Now, what you're going to do, for each egg that you freeze, you're going to put 1/8 teaspoon of your salt or sugar. And I like to level mine off. So I take this like this. 1 and 2, because I'm having two eggs in there. Then you're going to want to beat your eggs. Bust the yolks. And the reason this is good for me, first of all, I've already cracked them out of the shell. And second of all, they're going to be beat. And you don't want to beat them till they're fluffy and got a lot of bubbles in them. You just want to beat them enough till the yolk is mixed with the whites. So basically, you just want to stir them a little bit. About like that. You do not want them to get real bubbly. You just want them to be mixed together. Then you're going to put them into your pouch. Now I put these, I wish I had them little stands like I've seen on Amazon. It's got these little stands that hold your bags when you're freezing stuff. Just go ahead and put my eggs down in the bag if I can get them in there before the thing tries to close up on me. Just like this. And then you're going to take it out. You got your eggs in your bag now, labeled with 2. See, like I say, you could put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could put a lot of eggs in there. And what I'm planning on doing after they're frozen, when I get ready to use them, I'll thaw them out. And then I'm just going to snip one corner and pour them out like that. Now, there's several ways that you can use. You want to make sure you get all your air out of your egg. The way I'm going to do that, I'm taking a straw and I'm going to suck the extra air out. Laying it down like this just a little bit. You want to be real careful when you're doing this. If you suck too hard, you're going to suck raw egg up into your mouth. So I just kind of squeeze the bag shut till I get close to the end. Leave enough of a hole to put the straw in there. And don't put the straw real close to where the eggs are at. And when you see the eggs start coming towards your straw, you want to quit. Now your eggs are kind of vacuum sealed. Then I'm going to lay them in here and let them freeze flat. Now there was another video I seen where if you wanted to vacuum seal in there, you just take your eggs and you dip them in water. You take them and dip them in a water bag like this and then seal them, and supposedly the water presses all the air out. So that's the first one. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them, and then I'll come back and show you the rest of the video. Okay, this bowl here contains a dozen eggs, 2 eggs in each pouch. And the reason I put 2 eggs in each pouch, that's generally how many eggs you'll use in most recipes. I am going to do some with sugar in them. And the reason you put the salt or the sugar in it is supposed to have, when you thaw the eggs out, it's supposed to help them to not have like a rubbery texture to them. Those of you remember my Dollar Tree haul, this is the little salt shaker that I bought with the top, the holes in it. This is how I use it with salt. And the rest of these eggs that I dipped them in the water and did the water preserving, and it does help take a lot of the air out. And what you can do is dip it down in the water as much as can, and then put your straw in there and suck the rest of the air out, and they'll come out pretty flat. So now all I got to do is freeze these for however many hours it takes. Then I can remove them from this container and put them in another container, and I'll have eggs to last me for a year. Thank you guys for coming and watching this video. I appreciate you so much, and y'all come back and see us any old time. Bye for this one.